Mark, a day to you. 2 months to the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, had the Berkeley event, so the 2-month tour ends. Andrew Colvett with Turning Point USA said this. He said, despite Antifa thugs blocking our campus tour with tear gas, fireworks, and glass bottles, we had a packed house in the heart of Deep Blue, UC Berkeley. I don't know what your take is, Mark. You can talk about what's happening outside. I think the more important thing is what happened inside from last night.
Well, they're both important. I mean, I think what the importance of what happened inside is that the conservatives who came to hear this were not deterred by the threats of violence and by the intimidation. But I don't think that they are the main target of Antifa. The main target are college administrators who they are trying to convince to shut down conservative speech because they can't provide security. So what they want is for college administrators across the country to look at this and say, you know what, we can't have TPUSA events on our campus. We can't bring more conservative speakers because we just can't afford the security. We don't want to have this kind of violence. We don't want to have someone like Charlie Kirk killed on our campus, so we're just not going to have these events. And that is the goal of the people, of the man who murdered Charlie Kirk, of the movement that backs him, and of the Antifa movement, to shut down conservative speech.
Okay, so that tour comes to an end, but the story is not over. Well stated on that, Mark.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about the BBC. I've seen the clip. It was wrong. You can't do that, and they got caught red-handed. President Trump now wants to get a hide out of the BBC, potentially now. Wall Street Journal, the bias meltdown at the BBC. It's a warning to Western democracies not to let the government control news production, which is the difference between what's happening in the UK and what happens here at home. I don't know how you remedy this, Mark. Like, what do you think they do?
Well, I think Trump is remedying it by suing them. And I think he's 100% right. This was incredible journalistic malpractice. And this was even worse than what CBS did with the Kamala Harris quote, because this wasn't simply taking a quote and editing it down in order to make it seem different than it was. They literally spliced together things he said an hour apart in order to make it seem like he was saying something he wasn't. So that was intentional. It was not just bad editing. And, you know, and by the way, the BBC has a pattern of doing this. They were just sanctioned by the British government for this Gaza documentary they had, where they mistranslated. Every time the Gazans referred to Jews, they referred to them as Israeli forces. So when a Gazan woman was saying, Hamas is committing jihad against Jews, they translated into Hamas is fighting Israeli forces. And they failed to disclose that the narrator was the son of a Hamas official. So the BBC is a very sick organization, and I think Donald Trump might bring some sanity to it.
Okay, another follow-up on this. The media settlements have been significant thus far. On screen, number 4, guys. YouTube, $24.5 million. Meta, $25 million. X, $10 million. Paramount Global, which is CBS News, had on CBS News, $16 million. Then Disney with ABC at $16 million. Here is what the White House is asking for, Mark. They want a retraction, they want an apology, and they want an appropriate financial compensation. How do you define appropriate?
He's 100% correct.
Yeah, I get it, but like, what's the appropriate amount after the millions that I just showed you?
Something along the lines of what those others have done. He's asking for $1 billion. He'll take tens of millions, and that's perfectly fine. Look, what Trump is doing here is actually, in a way, saving the media, because the trust in the media has absolutely plummeted. If you look at the Edelman Trust Barometer in 2025, which they asked 70% of people believe journalists and reporters purposely try to mislead people by saying things they know are not true or false exaggerations, and 67% said most news organizations are more concerned with supporting a political ideology than informing the public. That's 7 in 10 people around the world listening to these news organizations believe that. We're never going to get trust in the media, and we're never going to have a common set of facts if the media doesn't stop this blatant political bias.
Well, it's not often that you see 2 of the top leaders of the news organization step down, and that's what happened at the BBC this week. All right, thank you, Mark. We'll talk soon, okay? Nice to see you. In Washington, Mark
Thank you.
Thanks.